Hi folks, my name is Ben Santhouse-James. I'm the finance lead on the Youth Advisory Board, and I'm currently an energy systems graduate student at Oxford. I'll be joining McKinsey later this year to work on sustainable finance, climate risk, and the energy transition. And I also spend a lot of time working with the UNFCCC's youth constituency, where we aspire to increase youth engagement with multilateral climate policy. My first misconception is that the financial sector and net zero are incompatible. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the often demonized financial sector will be critical to facilitate the net zero transition. Human progress requires the flow of capital. It facilitated the Industrial Revolution, the Agricultural Revolution, and the Digital Revolution. A net zero revolution would be similarly dependent on the capital of financial markets to spur innovation for a new, sustainable, socioeconomic model. A Paris-compatible future for humanity is not possible without the financial sector's full buy-in. The key, however, is to ensure that financial assets can be realigned for net zero. My second myth is that direct climate risks are more important to investors than indirect risks. We often think about tangible risks, disasters that we can visualize, catastrophic images that can be splashed over the front pages of the paper. The gas terminal flooded by more frequent storm surges, the crops dying in an unusually cruel heat wave, the roads ruined by relentlessly cold polar vortices. Yet, while much of the world will be significantly impacted by these risks, especially in the global south, investors must also be cognizant of indirect, non-physical risks that leave them structurally exposed. These financial asset risks cover four main areas: government policy, public perception, technological transitions, and broader economic markets. These may impact returns for investors and create stranded assets, which are high carbon intensity investments that can no longer generate positive economic returns because of shifts in one or more of these four areas. Classic examples include the oil and gas business, energy and efficient properties, and high emission cargo ships. Lastly, my final misconception. It is often said that more climate-related government regulation would not be welcomed by investors today. This is untrue. The work of organisations such as the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero is testament to financial institutions' willingness to work with policymakers to cultivate a clear path to net zero. If we are to align our economic activity to the Paris Agreement, intervention must occur at some point and will likely follow a combination of market-based policies and top-down regulation. However, one of the biggest challenges facing climate finance today is the lack of future policy visibility on carbon pricing, emissions, and other environmental interventions. Something that the short-term nature of democratic electoral cycles makes quite difficult. We see this playing out today in many countries in the renewable energy industry, where lack of certainty over future subsidies makes investment in decadal scale energy infrastructure projects very challenging. If more certainty had been provided over this, it's likely that we would not be facing the same fossil fuel dependent electricity cost crisis that we are facing and experiencing in early 2022. Ultimately, we need policymakers and negotiators to be decisive in their leadership to reduce the long-term indirect policy risks of the net zero financial transition. Only then can we fully align financial assets with a sustainable future for the world.